Hi there, my name is Janine. Welcome to my YouTube channel. This is my very first YouTube video, and I thought I'd share this gift that I received from my mom and dad. It's a personalized map that includes these pins to pin at all the different places that I've been around the world. And I love this gift because it's not just about where I've been, but it's about footprints representing memories and moments and chapters of my life that will shape me and stay with me for a lifetime. So I started pinning where it all began for me, which was the Monterey pin. I was born and raised in Monterey County in Salinas, California. So this is my home area. It felt right to begin here. And I worked my way throughout California. But the thing about this particular map is that it only includes major cities. So although I have explored Northern California, Southern California, Central Coast, I could really only include whatever cities were actually pinned there. There's just not enough room, but I've been to Los Angeles, San Diego, San Francisco, San Jose, Sacramento, Anaheim for Disneyland, of course, and I'm in Orange County, California now. So California holds so many special memories, even if it doesn't necessarily fit on this map. From there, I moved up the West Coast, and Washington holds a really special, fun memory for me. I remember I had posted a picture on Instagram of new winter boots that I had purchased and said something like, "Who wants to go somewhere cold with me?" And my cousin replied, and she said, "Me." And that's how we ended up in Seattle. So sometimes spontaneous booking is what travel is all about. And it ended up being a super memorable trip. My favorite activity that we did there was finding out, I don't know if we found out before or during, while we were there, about this speakeasy called Bathtub Gin and Company. But it was so cozy, hidden, and very Seattle. And what's neat about that place is they hand draw their receipts. So for instance, if you get a glass of wine and a martini, they will take this antique looking piece of paper, draw a wine glass, draw a martini glass, put the price, and you pay for it. I added Victoria Next, which connects to one of my favorite places, Butchart Gardens. And I went when I was little with my mom, dad, aunt, and uncle. I don't necessarily remember it clearly. I was quite young, but the pictures are memorable to me and they tell the story from when I went there. And when I went again to visit as an adult, it felt just as storybook and magical as it did in those photos from when I was younger. And I highly recommend going there. Alaska was a solo trip for me. And I booked that because of a last minute deal. And it ended up being one of the most majestic experiences I've ever had. Alaska's all about the sights, the views, the nature. And I recommend going on a solo trip if you haven't yet already. Solo trips are so restorative for connecting back to you and just spending time with you. Also, the Alaskan fry bread is a 10 out of 10. I highly recommend it. It tastes like a fluffy churro. So then there's Hawaii. Hawaii is aloha spirit always. I've been to multiple islands, and I've also been multiple times. So too many to count. I've been with family, friends, parents, aunts, uncle, you name it. Maui is one of my favorites and one of my parents' favorites. We love to go there and just hang out. One of my favorite things to do there with them is walk up and down the beach during both sunrise and sunset. And sometimes the most simplest moments are the most memorable. So Mexico, I've been there once. specifically Ixtapa. But I went to Ixtapa on a trip with my coworkers, and we stayed at an all-inclusive resort that our boss treated us to. And it was a favorite memory of mine to go out on a boat ride. Had a few cocktails, stopped in the middle of the ocean, and I remember I do swim, but everyone jumped into the ocean. I didn't, and I do wish that I did. Always jump in the water if you feel like it. All right, so worked my way across the United States map, started pinning on the East Coast, and I began with Florida. I've been there a few times. The first time was on a cruise with an ex-boyfriend from Miami to Bahamas. My favorite part there was visiting Atlantis and walking through the aquarium and recognizing the aquarium from Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen's movie Holiday in the Sun. If you know about that, you know. And also, the second time that I visited there, I was visiting with friends who lived in Miami at the time. And we were there I was there during Halloween. And we dressed up, and I remember just getting ready at their house and taking fun pictures, walking around, and it's just a fun time there. The third time I went to Orlando to go to Walt Disney World for the first time with my cousins and my nieces. And my favorite parks there were Animal Kingdom and Epcot. And I remember walking into Animal Kingdom for the first time and seeing the Tree of Life and how it just, we screamed, basically. It was a memorable experience for sure. And I need to go visit there again. I had a great time. On the east coast of New York is very special to me. I first went there for a friend's wedding and also to visit my cousin while she was living there during college. My cousin and we went to see Wicked together, and we kept on singing Defying Gravity. This was way before the Wicked for Good movie came out. I think this was around 2015. And I just remember that when she left to go home at that time, I kept singing that song alone in my hotel room. It was on repeat for sure, and that was a very memorable trip. And then on another visit about 8 years later in 2023, I visited my cousin, and I just remember going to this one particular restaurant, and we were eating and drinking, walking around the city, just having good conversation. And my favorite probably had to be grabbing a box of pizza to take back with us to her apartment and just hanging out. Those simple nights are some of my favorite kind of memories. Anyway, I later added Chicago because I forgot I'd been there, and I also added in any places that I'd been in the United States that included layovers, because technically my footprint was there. And later I realized that I forgot Nevada, Arizona, all these other different states, which I hold memories to. And I also forgot this year I went to the Dominican Republic on a cruise with my cousin and my niece, and we had the best time. So I just wanted to make sure that was captured as well. So then I moved over to the Europe side of the Europe side of the world, and my very first trip there was with a friend, and we went to London, Belgium, and Paris. And in London, I remember having tea and champagne at this high-story building and restaurant that just had incredible views. And I remember sitting there feeling jet-lagged. And the waiter asked if I was okay. And I just told him I had jet lag. So, and then we went to Belgium. And I remember the food there I remember this walking tour that my friend set up for us, and on the walking tour, they recommended for us to take a walking tour the next day to go to Bruges. And I'm so glad we did that, because Bruges ended up being the highlight of that trip in general, because Bruges is a real life fairy tale. I'm so glad we booked that last minute. It is a storybook in real life. Really. I really want to go there again. And then after Belgium, we went to Paris, and Paris is everything that you'd hope and want it to be. I, of course, love the Eiffel Tower during the day and also at night. And I remember eating escargot for the first time at a restaurant, but I knew how to eat escargot because of the movie Pretty Woman. If you know that scene, the slippery little sucker scene, that's how I knew. And I like it. It's not my favorite thing, but you gotta. You're in Paris. My second trip to Europe was with my mom and dad on a cruise. I love cruises because you get to see so much. The drawback is you don't get to stay there as long as you'd like, but it gives you a little taste, and you do get to see all of the highlights of the different places. But on this particular cruise, we went to Italy, Greece, and Turkey. And we started in Rome, did all of the different sites, which were incredible, of course. But what stands out to me most would be our Airbnb, because it made us feel like locals. I mean, like, even the key to enter was this antique key. And I remember having coffee by the window, just feeling like we were at home. So that was probably my favorite part of Rome. I mean, even though we got to see all the sites, the Trevi Fountain, the Vatican, those were special too. But just feeling like you're at home is meaningful for me. And the day before our actual cruise, we took a day trip to Florence. It's so easy to hop on a train, and it's a little over an hour. And let's see, on that same trip, we also took a last-minute boat ride in Capri, and the views were an absolute dream. I felt grateful for getting that experience offered to us last minute, and that we took it and went with it, and it ended up being one of our favorite memories. In Turkey, we went to Kusadasi, and I just remember the hospitality there on our different tours and the walking and the sights. And in Greece, that definitely was a dream, going to Oia, Santorini. There is nothing like those views. We also went to Mykonos, Athens, and Crete. Mykonos is one of those places that is so fun, and it's a literal maze. You turn the corner and find little surprises for you to check out. We got some pastries and sat on some steps. Athens is a dream as well. It's historic, and you feel like a goddess. And Crete we really enjoyed, but more so we enjoyed the food. We had ordered this calamari with this black garlic sauce, and it was so yummy and delicious. And my third trip in Europe was a pilgrimage with my church and my mom. And it was a reflective, restorative, and deeply meaningful experience. It was during the Jubilee of 2025. And what I remember and what stays with me the most is walking into the Vatican as a group in St. Peter's Basilica and being able to touch the holy doors. That's something that I will cherish and hope to experience again one day. All of these memories and footprints are imprinted in my mind, my body, and my soul. And now they live on this map. So footprints are everywhere you decide to go, and you get to choose where you leave them. So may your travels take you to memorable places, no matter how near or how far. And I hope that this particular video resonated with you in some way. Maybe it's simply just to listen to somebody else's story of their footprints, but maybe it reminded you of places that you've been or places that you'd like to go. But either way, I just want to thank you so much for watching. And I look forward to creating more memories and footprints in this world and on this map and sharing them with you. I invite you to like and subscribe to my page. We'll see you next time.